Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're looking at the Halo 5 teaser trailer Potato Sack Chief, or the Cloak Chief as I like to call him. This is the same look for Chief that I made last year around this time for that charity auction out of the Play Arts Kai Master Chief. This one's McFarlane, so it's significantly smaller than the one I made, obviously. He stands just about 5 3/4 inches tall. And there are some good things and some bad things about this figure. Well, let's just go through it, I guess. As far as the cloak goes, I think it's a big fail. Unfortunately, it's just way too bulky and way too stiff. It looks even bigger than it should. I mean, I know that it's not going to look quite the same as in the trailer because that was not a tangible item. That was all CGI, so they could have extra fabric and not actually take up any space. Whereas this is sculpted plastic, so it's going to take up a significant amount of space. I just think it could have been executed much better. For example, it shouldn't look like it's just stuffed. I mean, it goes all the way up to his head. It looks like he's peeking out of like a tent or something. It's just way too bulky, way too big. And then also it's very stiff. I don't know why they went with such a stiff plastic. It would have been much nicer, I think, for a thinner and more flexible plastic, because you can't get any posing done. This is literally it. You can spin the head, move the head around a little bit in here. This hand, you can get the arm to go like that if you want to, and then this hand is down here. The feet really don't matter because the cloak is too long, so you can't really have him stand. He's just going to end up propped up on the cloak. So it's just really disappointing all the way around. As far as his sculpt goes, I guess the fabric, like the windswept look, it's sculpted well in that regard. As far as the fabric texture goes, it's not very good. It's not very even. It's rather flat up here. Then there's some on the middle section, and there's a whole lot on the bottom section. So I'm not sure what's up with that. It looks to me, and I don't know much about 3D design, but it looks to me like they sculpted this and then laid a texture over it, because in some cases it looks kind of stretched. Like right there, for example, on this piece. The pattern is not the same, so I'm not sure how that happened. It looks really weird and just poorly executed. Very disappointing. I think a soft goods approach would have been much better. It might not have looked as dynamic, but I think it would have been far more functional and far more practical. So, you know, it is what it is. So the good thing about it, though, is if you want to, and if you don't already have another Chief, you can take this cloak off and you have a pretty standard Master Chief figure. So the top half comes off, which is okay, and then the second half comes off also. It's a little tricky, but you can just pull them out like that. And then you have a Master Chief figure, standard Halo 4 Master Chief figure. You'll notice they took his backpack off just like I did when I made mine. You had to take off the fusion core thingies, the reactors, and the back centerpiece. But they gave them to you so you can snap them back on. And now you have a Halo 4 Master Chief. I know what you're all thinking. What's it look like compared to the other Halo 4 Master Chief figures from McFarlane? Well, this is the one that came out in the Series 2 with Master Chief and Cortana. And it's basically the exact same figure. The body is all the same. I'll get to that hand in a second. The paints are a little different. He's a little more green. The blacks are a little shinier. But it's the exact same figure in terms of mold. In terms of the mold. Except for the visor and the hand. So, if you don't have one of these, you can just grab one of these and you'll be good to go. Now let's look at the differences. We have the cracked visor from the trailer. It looks to me like it's pretty good. They, when I saw it at Toy Fair, they just had some dirt paint application on there, so I'm very glad that it's not just that. I do think it could have looked a little bit better. It doesn't look nearly as good as it did in the teaser trailer, but it's not bad at all, so I'm glad that they bothered to resculpt that. And then we also have this alternate hand. So he comes with his regular hand. It's removable this time. So that's just the standard hand. And now he comes with the hand from the teaser trailer where he's holding the little Cortana chip. The fingers are pretty green, pretty bright green, but I'll let that slide because it's nice to have the little Cortana chip hand. Now I don't know if I'm actually going to keep that cloak on him just because it looks so bad. And this is actually a really solid figure. I really like this Halo 4 Master Chief figure as a standalone piece. So I might just set that cloak aside and keep him. this way. And he does come with the bolt shot also. It does have a weapons peg hole in there, and it comes with a weapon peg, so you can put that on his hip or on his back, which you wouldn't want to do, but you can definitely put it on his hip right there. So as far as the paint application goes on Master Chief, there's a lot more black wash. Like I said, the greens are a little greener, and the black has kind of a satiny finish to it rather than the matte from before. Then he also has, it looks like a little bit more silver dry brushing, so he's very kind of saturated, and it looks pretty good. The head articulation leans from side to side perfectly well. Up and down, not the best going up at least, but going down just fine. It's a double ball peg. For the shoulders, we have a ball hinge. You can bring the arm all the way up, put it all the way down. Really nice shoulder joint right there. There's no bicep swivel, unfortunately, and a lot of people are going to complain that the shoulder pads are down a little bit too low, but I think they just did that to give us a little bit better range of motion. And in some of the scenes in Halo 4, the shoulder pads are that low, and it's basically the same armor, so what are you going to do? And then for the elbow, we have the ratcheting hinge. It goes a little bit better than 90 degrees, and it swivels at the top and at the bottom. And then we have the same type of hinge for the wrist. Swivel or hinged, and then it swivels at the top and at the bottom. For the torso, we have a double ball peg. I think it's a double, it might be a single, but it goes side to side, front and back. Full rotation, no problems there. For the hips, this is really the only downside for the figure. You have very limited range of motion in the hips without trimming anything. You could trim some of this away and you'll have much better range, but as it stands, it's very limited. It's just a standard, I think it's technically a double ball peg, but it really works just like a standard single ball peg. For the knees, you get less than 90 degrees, but it is ratcheted and it swivels at the top of the knee joint. And for the ankles, it's the same type of joint as the wrist, where it's ratcheted, and then it swivels at the top and bottom. We're a little bit limited going forward, but it's not so bad that he can't do it at all. And then for the toe joint, it's a single ball peg. So I do definitely recommend this figure. As far as the potato sack goes, it definitely could look better. It's pretty disappointing, but the figure itself is still really solid, so I do recommend it, and I'll put him in some poses at the end of the video so you can see what he looks like in action. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.